Good morning / afternoon, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the Next Level Speedrun Showcase 2018 Fall Edition. We're going to kick it off with our very first contemporary PC game. So take it away, folks.
I'm PMC Trilogy. I'll be doing the run.
Connolly, I'll be commentating. Very little knowledge on Just Cause.
but
Trilogy's
plenty of color, though. It's going to be fine. So we're going to get right into it. There's a auto-scroller at the beginning. Time will start when the reticule appears on screen. So I'm just going to sort of yell when it pops up.
Yell away.
And time. All right. The whole reason we do time there is because sometimes the game just eats your settings if you put it in the main menu. So putting your settings in before time is actually pretty useful. That's a whole piece of thing. This auto-scroller, pretty simple. There's 3 SAM sites. You only need to destroy 1 to actually progress. I destroy all 3 because if you destroy them early enough, you get to skip the voice lines. And, you know, I've played this game enough times. I don't need to hear the voice lines.
How far in the game do you have to be to get to the DLC?
So we're doing a DLC category. And with the DLC, the way they structured it is you don't pick it from the main menu. You have to get a certain number of missions into the game to unlock the DLC. With Sky Fortress, you unlock the DLC after you finish Terrible Reaction, which is like the 4th or 5th mission. We're going to do 1 extra main story mission now, which is Friends Like These, that unlocks fast travel. Fast travel is really useful. And then with the other DLCs, like for example, if you're doing like the Land Mech Assault or Bavarian Sea Heist, you would have to go much further into the game. Land Mech Assault, I think, is after Conflicting Interests, and then Bavarian Sea Heist, I think, is after, I forget the name of it. It's like the second mission in the second area of the game. So here, this game has sort of a slow tutorial over like 8 minutes. For example, like right now we're still in Just Cause 2 movement mode. So you remember Just Cause 2? In Just Cause 2 you only had parachutes and grapples. So I'm going to parachute low to the ground because I need to get low to the ground until it'll let me use the grappling hook. And then I'm able to basically do Just Cause style movement where you're just using the grappling hook and the parachutes to traverse. And we're going to go up and meet our friend Mario, throw a grenade, and then kill the guy that, okay, maybe I don't. Sometimes, yeah, I mean, this game is not perfect. Sometimes the inputs get eaten, you know. Sometimes that's life. So now we're going to have the one and only driving sequence in the game. If you're wondering, does this game have a lot of load times? The answer is yes. In a full any % run, which is about, you know, a little over 3 hours, there's about 20 minutes of loads. This is a fun game, but the PC port is...
Well, I heard the console ports were awful, especially on launch.
I heard that too. I've never actually played a console version of this, but I know definitely, and lots of people love to complain. However they program this, there's like a really long, yeah, every day I drift further away. There is a really long load time at the beginning of the game when you're first booting up the game. They've shortened that since launch, but there's still lots that can sort of go wrong with it. Right now, we have to take the intended route. If you stray too far from this path, it starts a 20-second timer. We'll visit this 20-second timer once later in this speed run. In the any % run, the 20-second timer is important in several places, but basically, if you're doing a mission and you get too far away from something, the game starts a 20-second timer and it's like, stop goofing off. Which we can play around with a little bit again, and this speed run's only going to really come up important once. Now we're going to have the first sequence where we destroy lots of dudes, just kind of take care of waves. The number of beats that come from the left here is sort of random. It's also important as we go back and forth to get rid of guys on the ground. But yeah, there's going to be left, right, left. As I said, yeah, the ones that come from the left are sort of random in how many there are. There's always just one from the right, and then there's all the way over here on the right, there'll be one more. Sometimes it slow rolls me, which makes me really mad. And then there's a motorcycle over here. I'm trying to, there we go, I got it.
Now where are we here? Some nondescript Mediterranean
So Just Cause
country?
3 takes place in the island of Medici, which is totally a real place. I'm surprised you don't know. No, it's all the Just Cause games take place in sort of fictionalized dictatorships. Like Just Cause 1 was South America, Just Cause 2 was Southeast Asia, and so this is a fictionalized Mediterranean dictatorship. It's supposed to be where Rico Rodriguez is from originally.
Is he in all 3 games?
Yes, he's the main character, although he looks really different. Like in 1, he looks like a like an Antonio Banderas knockoff. In 2, he just looks like the dirtiest dad you've ever seen. And then
I think that's the subtitle.
yeah, no, that pretty much was. And in this game, he's just, I don't know, slightly cleaned up. He's basically like retired Ezio. I think that is the voice actor of him. I forget. But so here we're gonna take care. We have to take care of these guys on the ground. Using this extremely accurate minigun.
It's a fire hazard.
Yeah, and then waves of jeeps are gonna come in. What we want to do here is try and get the tires to pop on these. And then tire popping, if a Jeep flips, it pretty much instantly destroys everyone inside. Oh yeah, there we go. Screw that up. That's totally intended.
It's like poetry.
Like poetry. Stanzas, they rhyme. So we got that. And then what we want to happen here is for the pilot to die inside. Yeah, there we go. But I missed the Jeep. Okay. I thought I'd gotten that Jeep. Yeah, so this is unfortunately a huge time loss. You don't want to let that Jeep get behind this building. Because, oh, no, it just fell over and died. Alright. Good driving. A+. That's how I drove here. Alright, so anyway, that's the end of the first mission. And now we're finally going to start getting some of the advanced features of the game. We got to turn around. So it's interesting now, you saw me do that parachute and the movement earlier, but now the game's going to be like, oh yeah, this is how you're supposed to move in this game. And we're going to get a little tutorial where we have to go through all these columns. I mean, you don't have to use these columns for movements, but it's just kind of quicker to do so. You want to try and maintain momentum as much as possible. This is how you commute to work, right?
What's that?
This is how you commute to work?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now listen to podcast all the way.
Right, yeah. No,
So on a scale from 1 to frothing, what's your desire level for Just Cause 4?
It's, I would say like a good 8.5 or something, maybe a
8.5.
7.7. I think the diversity of terrain is really good. I think the new tools can be really good. As like someone who's interested in speedrunning that game, I think my biggest concern, what? Usually when you grapple these things into other things, they blow up and there we go. Okay. I think my biggest concern is just that a lot of those tools could be like gated behind things. So in this game, a lot of our basic tools have upgrades that are unlocked by doing challenges like races and stuff like that. The speedruns, we have enough in our basic tools that we never do any of those challenges. Like it's not worth it. And so I'm just kind of hoping that like whatever the basic tool set is in Just Cause 4 is you know, enough. It's enough that like I'm not gonna be like, oh man, I really wish I could use, because if you've seen any coverage, some of the things they have is that you'll be able to change your tethers so that you can put like boosters on.
There's weather now, right? Tornadoes and balloons.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be weather too. That could be a big RNG thing. I don't know. I'm curious if weather can be helpful. I mean, it certainly seems like weather could hurt, but I don't know if weather is going to be helpful in any particular missions, or if there'll be set pieces, right, where weather always appears at a certain time. Anyway, these guys are going to drive onto this bridge, and they're just going to keep driving onto the bridge even after it blows up. Now the game's going to give us another tutorial about, so we just got the Planet Explosion tutorial, now we're going to get the hacking SAM site. And so if you're curious how hacking works in this game, thankfully it's not a QTE, you just kind of stand in front of there and mash some buttons. And, and what this does is it makes it so that the SAM sites will target enemies, mostly enemy helicopters. So the game wants us to do these two. But what's nice about this is that the game's going to spawn 4 helicopters. You can see them over here. But these helicopters have no AI. They just are programmed to fly in a set direction towards the SAM sites and then get blown up. So what that means is that we can just borrow one of them, and the game doesn't really care. It just doesn't. The police aren't mad at us. We just kind of take them.
Who does Rico work for? Is he a rogue agent?
So in this game, he is a rogue agent. NAA. Yeah, so in this game he is a rogue agent. In the first 2 he was working for the CIA, and like our CIA handler, Tom Sheldon, still shows up in this game. But the whole idea, I think, in this game is, it's honestly kind of kind of in the same way that Shadow of the Tomb Raider thinks a little bit about some of Lara's exploits, this game also, I think, thinks about some of Rico's exploits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, this is supposed to be a load screen, but instead we're just getting stuck with a nice little landscape shot.
That's beautiful.
I actually this happened to be an ESA, and I panicked and restarted the game, or not like restarted, but I restarted last checkpoint, which I didn't need to do, because apparently the game just fails to give us the load screen.
What time is that speedrun? 'Cause that's when I was in England, so I think we're close to being on similar.
Yeah, we were close to being the same. So, you mean like what time of day was that?
For you, what was it for you? Remember?
It was, I think it was like 10 a.m. for me.
That sounds about right.
Sweden when I did that. Yeah. Yeah, I had done the 40% run, which is like again 3 hours. So, well, in order to get the next story mission unlocked, we need to spend some time blowing up stuff. And this is honestly I think a lot of people feel that the liberations are sort of a turn-off for doing Just Cause 3 speedrunning, and that's understandable, because instead of being like cool tricks, you know, just sort of like, did you optimize blowing up things? You know, which you have to have a certain appetite for, appetite for destruction. And we're going to park this helicopter over here. It's important that we do this because if you park the helicopter inside the base, enemy vehicles despawn when we liberate the base, and we want that helicopter for something after we're finished here.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to go on foot because the turbines have to be destroyed after opening certain doors. So you'll see what's going on. So I have to hit these switches. One important thing I should mention, if you're watching me do this, you might think like, wait a second, isn't this guy using the reel while reeling upgrade? And no, the answer is not. This game allows you to cancel your grapples, which is really, really good because when you cancel a grapple, you enter into a controlled fall state. And the controlled fall state has much less sort of recovery lag, like the animations are way shorter. You can press buttons right away if you need to land and press a button. So it's vastly preferred to enter that controlled fall state than, you know, some of the states that you see like that slide there.
Mm-hmm.
That slide it takes way longer than this, which I can pretty much go into the button press right away.
Does this game have a big like modding community?
Yeah, I mean the big draw for this, honestly, I think the most popular thing, and I'm kind of weirdo, right, because I'm speedrunning this game, but I think the most popular thing is the multiplayer mods, which get a lot of
I forgot Just Cause had a multiplayer.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't have an official one, and Just Cause 4 won't have either. Like a lot of people, it's like for some people, that's a complaint about Just Cause 4 is that the Avalanche isn't doing a multiplayer mode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fine with me. I played Just Cause 2 multiplayer once. It was fine. You know, it is what it is. It's a big sandbox. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, for me, it's all about you gotta go fast.
Get those speed runs.
I think the speed runs. Yeah, it's man. I gotta. So gonna speed brag. Got the world record times for Just Cause 1 and 3. People are like, oh, aren't you gonna speed run Just Cause 2? And I'm like, eventually. All right, give it time.
Does it run well on PC?
2?
In 2018?
It's fine. It's good enough. So here we're doing another liberation. Of course, using the helicopter to blow stuff up, which is really useful. And then the other important thing here is that in order to liberate police stations, you have to do a certain amount of havoc.
Mm-hmm.
And as it turns out, having infinite rockets makes it much easier to cause havoc. It's pretty straightforward, really. We also have to open these gates, so I abandon the helicopter and then go over there and take care of that. We're also going to get some more rocket ammo while we're here. And then open this last gate. Alright, and then we're going to be done with liberations for a bit. We're going to then get back to doing story missions.
Alright.
Also, did you know that David Tennant's in this game?
I did not. Who does he
no,
play?
It's him right now. Yeah, it's David Tennant. I don't know why he's in this game, but it's cool. He's like the
Is this when he was Doctor Who? I mean, not that you're a Who
maybe
scholar.
Like right after, right? Because this game is 2015, like 2015. So I think he's done at that point.
I think so.
I'm not a Whovian.
Normal, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so now we're going to get some additional tutorials about some other game features. And so this is going to be the Rebel Drop feature, which tells us, you know, that we can do this thing where we can summon vehicles or weapons and get them dropped to us as long as we have a beacon. What the game wants us to do is go over to this location at the yellow beacon and get a scooter. But scooters are slow. Actually, the motorcycle driving in this game is like legendarily bad. It was one of those things where, you know, like after launch, you know, people were complaining about performance and stuff, and then people were like, "What's up with the motorcycle driving?" And Dev's like, "No, it's fine." No, it's not. What are you talking about? Again, thankfully, this game's all about wingsuiting and grappling, so it's not like, you know, the end of the world.
Yeah, it was my only exposure to avalanches through the airship in Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty fun. I enjoyed that. So anyway, yeah, driving the scooter is slow, but what's faster, though, is grappling the scooter. Hopefully, I think I made that. I was a little far away. Yeah, okay, I got it. So we're going to go ahead and airlift this thing. How far is that tether? That tether's pretty far. Alright, so I should have shortened that tether a bit, but it's fine. Yeah, usually I like to get it between like 15 and 20 meters. But, you know, maybe I was counting in yards or something, I don't know. So we're doing this because normally we'd have to drive the scooter back, and this is easier. And what's also good about this, you know, even for... my goal is going to be to try and land both the scooter and the helicopter on the dock safely.
As you do.
Even if that doesn't work, there's like several checkpoints like right here. So if I end up messing this up, one of the nice things too is that there is a key to release the tether if I do get it wrong. But there's a lot of momentum. You know, it's physics, right? Super accurate. This is a very realistic video game. You know, so.
Seems like the perfect chill summer game. Has a very summer aesthetic.
Yeah. Oh, okay, there we go. I did it. Oh, yeah, I did it. All right, here we go. See, I messed this up in practice right before we started, but I did it correctly this time. So what's going to happen here is we're gonna get this little menuing tutorial, and we're gonna get another one of these helicopters, but we'd have to wait for it to land. So I'm just gonna.
We're in the DLC proper here now, right?
No.
Oh,
no. We're still. I will point out when we get to the DLC.
All right.
You'll also kind of know because they didn't really have a budget for proper cutscenes in the DLC, so they just kind of give you like landscape paintings. Oh, and they look nice. I mean, shout out to the artist who did them, but they're not real cutscenes.
All right.
So. But anyway, taking the helicopter, you know, riding out on the horse that we rode in on allows us to get away from the dock faster. As you can see, there's the timer. I got muscle memory for manually splitting.
I can imagine.
Yeah. It's actually funny. Just recently, I started running my first auto splitter game for the first time ever. Of all the games that you would have an auto splitter, it was True Crime New York City.
Did you get that record, or?
No, I did not.
How shy are you? Seconds or minutes?
Like 30 seconds.
Oh man.
And like.
That's what keeps you up in it.
Yeah, no, it really does. And my summer best is like several minutes ahead, so really I should have it. But anyway, whatever. Shout outs to True Crime New York City. A true wreck of a game.
Are you putting it to bed, or are you gonna keep trying?
No, I'm gonna keep trying. I think once I'm done with this, I might keep trying for a bit before I start Just Cause 2 100%. So if you haven't noticed, I'm flying the helicopter diagonally because this is faster, right? I mean, any real life helicopter pilot will tell you that the safest and fastest way to fly a helicopter is diagonally. Kind of. What I'm doing is it has like a mechanic where it tries to pick up speed when it's going diagonally, but I'm using the mouse to sort of nudge it and prevent it from turning, and that gives me about an extra 30% speed.
That's what Tom Cruise did in the recent Mission Impossible film.
Yeah. I heard he got injured doing that, yeah. Alright, here we go, and we're over to this mission. There's going to be 3 cutscenes, because they want me to hit skip 3 times, just, you know, in case they want to make sure. They want to make sure that I want to skip these cutscenes.
That's a lot of lore.
Yeah, I know, right? A lot of deep lore there. Please respect the lore.
Is there a lot of Just Cause lore?
Not, I mean, I think there is starting to be, because like any franchise has to have lore, I think,
yeah.
You know, in 2018. But
I'm sure Avalanche has a story Bible somewhere.
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the interesting things about Just Cause 3 is that Just Cause 3 actually brought back a lot of like weird plot points from Just Cause 1. Like,
so there's like some continuity?
Yeah, there is. Oh, I messed up. I forgot to, okay. Well, this whole thing just went off the rails. So, what happened there is I was supposed to have a rocket launcher. I guess what did I pick that up? Oh yeah, no, I should have gone, okay, I remember what I did. I forgot to pick up a rocket launcher from the town. So anyway, this is going to be real slow now, because I have to just murder all these guys manually.
What's the death count at the end of this? How many bodies?
I don't know. That's, so there's going to be a plane that flies overhead. Normally I'd have a rocket launcher and I would try to shoot that down before they drop, but we're just going to do this the old-fashioned way. Yeah, so again, I forgot to pick up a rocket launcher. So anyway, we're going to get back to fun stuff now. This gate is going to drop in a second. I want to put it back up. And then once we see a checkpoint, that means there's a certain helicopter that will have spawned. And once that helicopter spawns, I can go grab it. What the game wants us to do now is the first escort mission in the game. Oh. But escort missions are slow. And we have a way to bypass the escort. Well, we're still going to escort it. We're just going to sort of...
What or who are you escorting?
We're escorting our buddy Mario, who is hanging out with his buddy in this truck. You see Mario's truck here. Mm-hmm. But instead of escorting it, as you might normally do, we're going to give it a little help. We're going to go ahead and just pick it up and take it to the endpoint. Now, it should note that this is really, really, really not intended. And one of the reasons I know it's really, really, really not intended is we have to actually go out of our way to hit a checkpoint on the way to the end mission trigger. So you're going to notice me fly towards, there's that bridge that I'm flying towards. The light poles, the lights at the end of the bridge, there's a checkpoint there. And I have to sort of like swing the truck between the goalposts to activate the checkpoint. Otherwise, you can't finish the mission. You have to do the checkpoint. So.
Who's the big bad? What's his name? The dictator?
Diravella.
Diravella.
Yeah, no, and his army is the Diravella militia, also known as the DRM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice.
So, yeah. Right, so anyway, you saw me, I got the checkpoint there, and once I get the checkpoint, I'm free to go to the end zone. We don't even have to actually really set the Jeep down. There's, I guess, however this game is programmed is like a zone. And I just have to sort of get in that zone generally. Sometimes when you're doing this, the game will say Mario's truck is stuck. And I'm like, no, it's fine. It's good. Don't worry about it.
Stuck in the air.
Yeah.
This is textbook how to topple a dictatorship here.
There you go, right? We drove there. See? It's on the ground driving. We're fine. Oh, that's the helicopter. So sometimes our helicopter lands safely, but if it doesn't land safely, we can just borrow the guy who is chasing us, and we'll take his helicopter. So at this point, the Sky Fortress mission is unlocked, but we're going to do one more main game mission because that gets us fast travel, and fast travel is fast. It's in the name, you know. Well, we got one more kind of long helicopter flight here. Unfortunately, this is kind of the slowest helicopter in the game, but you know, it's still...
Can you get into every vehicle in the game?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you can't drive trains.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I mean...
Are you opposed to that like you are with boats?
No, I mean, trains are fine. The trains in this game are kind of wonky. They're a little strange. Weird stuff happens. There's actually a glitch in this game where if you find a train, like a military train that has a jet fighter sitting on one of its cars, what you can do is the train cars will despawn very quickly once you've derailed them.
Mm-hmm.
And so what will happen is the train car will despawn before the jet fighter despawns. And what that means is that whatever the properties of that jet fighter get changed, so it no longer has collision when it's flying. And so you can take that jet fighter and fly through mountains. It's fortunately it requires a bit of setup, so it's not really like useful for a speedrun, but it's pretty funny, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, the trains are pretty cursed. We don't really deal with any trains in this speedrun. There is one mission in the main game where you have to escort a train, which is maybe one of the worst things. Because the whole reason you're escorting the train is to find another train, but surprise, the other train is also on the train tracks. I messed that up. That's fine. So here, we're going to skip a cutscene, and then the game's going to make us walk 5 feet to start another cutscene.
That brings back memories.
I know, right? I feel like I'm playing a JRPG. Yep, just...
you weren't kidding about these load times.
Just enjoying these load times, you know. Oh, sorry, guy. Oh, here we go.
Is that Mario?
Yeah, it's my buddy Mario. Well, I grappled a random guy, and hopefully he's not upset with me, but... so here, in order to get fast travel, we have to help someone unstuck their boat.
For the sake of liberating this country? Or
Yeah,
just...
for the sake of liberating, yeah. See that boat is like stuck right there, and we can just kind of, whoop. There we go, both helps. Okay, and then we go to the map. Let me go over. We have to use fast travel here. We go over here, fast travel. Important to know about fast travel. Fast travel, in order to use fast travel, you have to consume a fast travel flare. Fast travel flares are not consumed.
Like a sensu bean?
Yes.
All right.
Fast travel flares are not consumed when you do it from a territory that you have liberated. So right now we are fast traveling from a territory that we have liberated. So we do not consume the fast travel flare. For some reason, the game allows us to immediately fast travel to the central bases in each of the 3 areas of the game. This is really useful because the central area of the 3rd part of the game is very proximate to the start of the Sky Fortress DLC. If you've played this game, you might remember Falco Maxime is kind of a pain. Oh, I'm going to get hit. Yep, we're fine. This is fine. Physics. Whoop. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. So there I did get hit by the...
Looks good from my perspective.
Yeah, but I was able to sort of help myself out. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, okay, we're fine. We're fine. Oh. Where'd the helicopter go? Okay. So anyway, I need a helicopter. I have to wait for a shield to drop before I can hack it, before I can hijack it. Alright, so now we're going to fly away. This helicopter is going to be, this helicopter is like the fastest vehicle in the game. And also will be really useful for completing the next mission.
Who's Falco Maxime? Like a mid-boss?
It's just the name of the territory.
Oh, okay. It sounds like one of his henchmen.
It's the name of the military base. It could be named out. I'm sure if you look into the deep
lore,
you know. So, yeah. So now we're flying over to the start of the Sky Fortress DLC. Basically done with the main game at this point. Now we'll do all of the DLC. We'll get to the end of the DLC story for the Sky Fortress mission.
Now this is using jetpacks in the
yeah, so
DLC?
once we start this mission, we'll get the jetpack. But we're actually not going to use the jetpack for the first mission because we're going to have access to this helicopter. And, you know, as I said before, this helicopter is pretty fast. So when we land it, nice. We know what direction the mission's going to go in, so we just go over there. Oh, I way overshot that. Alright, there we go. So yeah, I'll show you right here what I was talking about. Like, you get to get like stills. You don't get actual cutscenes in the DLC.
I gotcha. It's like the end of an anime when they run out of their budget.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just like Neon Genesis Evangelion. So we get back in our house. See, right now the game's giving us tutorials about how to use the jetpack. We're going to ignore those.
Alright. Sounds safe.
Yeah. You can't, this guy right here, you can't shoot him because you'll fail the mission. You just have to sort of follow him for a bit. And then there's a, once he gets along enough where he's going, we can move over, we can just go straight to the destination. This was the point in the game where I was talking about the 20-second timer. What's going to happen here is we're going to leave him at the point where we know that we can get to the destination before the 20-second timer ends. So generally for being extra safe, I wait until he crosses the road, and then I fly over there. You want to hear a good joke?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you know why Master Chief crossed the road?
I did at one point when you told me this joke years ago, but I forgot since.
Okay. It was to give the Covenant back their bomb.
Nice. Why don't you speedrun Halo 2?
I mean, maybe I'd have to get an original version though, because like I feel like if you speedrun Halo 2, you got to do sword flying.
Yeah.
It's pretty much mandatory. So anyway, there we flew to the end of the territory, and then we're gonna blow up some series of stuff. So there's these extractors. The one downside to this helicopter is that it's super inaccurate, so you just kind of gotta spam the rockets. Another set of extractors over here.
All-time best video game helicopters. Hit me with one. I can only think of one, so I'm gonna say it's the same one you think of.
All-time best video game helicopters. I mean, this one's really good. I mean, is it helicopters that you fly?
I'm thinking it's like Hind D from Metal Gear.
Right, I was gonna say, if it's not a helicopter that you fly, then the Hind from Metal Gear Solid is a real classic. I mean, there's also the entire Strike series is really good. You know, Nuclear Strike, Urban Strike, Jungle Strike. You know.
You got some deep cuts here. I was expecting.
So anyway, we're flying up to the Sky Fortress now. It's like up here. It's actually, if we shoot a few rockets, there's like a chance.
Oh, it's an actual fortress.
Yeah, no, it's a fortress in the sky. That's why they call it the Sky Fortress. Yeah, it's not just a
metaphorical.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not just symbolic. So now we're going to get into. Unfortunately, to do all the Sky Fortress story missions, we have to do the liberations that come with Sky Fortress. So that means you're not going to get to watch me.
Are there civilians up here to liberate?
No.
Oh.
Liberation is really more of a state of mind.
All right.
Than,
so it is a metaphor.
Yeah. We just gotta blow up everything on this base pretty much, and we're gonna do it using the jetpack weapons. They're pretty effective. I'm gonna try and pretend like I'm a little jet fighter. To varying level of success.
Is this Rico's day job?
Yes.
Or is that a hobby?
Why not both? So we do have to get on foot here to destroy a few things. That's not what I meant. Yeah, we gotta get inside to destroy these. Pretty much everything else here we're gonna be destroying using the jetpack weapons. Again, so these drones are now like kind of the enemy for this area of the game. I think they're really unreliable to destroy. There is like a missile dodge feature that you'll see me use. You'll probably hear me mash because you have to do like alt and a direction. It's really uncomfortable to do, but you gotta live that life. So the goal here, what you want to do is try and get as much as you can in sort of one sweep. Usually the way I do it. Otherwise you get stuck like this and you get knocked out. Because the biggest problem with the missiles isn't necessarily that you are dying. I mean, you can die from them certainly, but the biggest problem is just that you get knocked off your course and then it becomes difficult to fly back in. Unfortunately, I'm not doing too good a job here of getting all these lined up. I'll try and... Those masks are really unreliable on how quickly they blow up. Oh, apparently I accidentally blew something up, which is always good. Sometimes the drones will fly into things, and that's pretty useful. Yeah, there we go. See, those masks were an inch of their life. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. One thing to note is that when you're in parachute mode, the only reason that they can lock on to me, normally you can't be locked on when you're in wingsuit, but the jetpack makes it so that enemies can lock on to Rico.
All right.
So that applies to the base game too as well. So now we have to go destroy stuff on the underside of the ship as well. Yeah, sometimes you can just get hit by debris, but thankfully you can recover from that pretty easily.
What's the overall challenge level like on Just Cause?
I would say it's
for like a first time.
I think it's in terms of finishing the missions, I think it's pretty straightforward. Usually, I think when people have had problems, they just had problems finding stuff. That's typically what it is. I think if you're trying to do things in a certain way, like I would say, like the final boss can be tricky if you're like not trying to like quick kill it. Like there are definitely things about it that like, oh, you gotta do all this damage to it, but you don't have weapons, and it seems like really tedious. And you're not wrong to think that, but once you see a quick kill method, then that hopefully will get you out of there pretty quickly.
How long is the game? Like 15, 20? Not for you, of course, but
yeah, no, I understand what you're asking. Casual playthrough. I think that's about right. Again, it depends how much extra stuff you do, right? Because you can really just spend forever doing liberation. It should be good now. Yeah. Okay. So we've done the front half of the ship. Now we're gonna head to the back end. Good thing about parachute state is that you do not take collision damage in parachute state.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a big convenience. And we do have to hit. So besides things on the bottom and top of the ship, there are also these big objects out here that we have to get to. These are a little tougher to destroy because sometimes you have to hit all three of the black tanks on the side. Sometimes you don't. So one tricky thing in here that's a sort of a risk is that there are these items on the inside of the interior of the ship that we have to get to. It's a little tricky to get without having to, get on the ground and really settle down and fight them.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the, again, a lot of this part of the run is just making peace with knowing how to quickly destroy things.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very true of any percent. The any percent speedrun, which is about 3 hours. Oh. Well, I accidentally jetpacked into a piece of debris and killed myself. But the good news here...
It's a good teachable moment.
Yeah, don't do that, folks. The good
Makes
news
the commentary more colorful.
is that whenever I destroy any of these objects, because I'm not in a mission, it's not like I'm reverting to a checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have not lost much progress. Like, obviously it's inconvenient, but we're pretty much still over. Alright, we're just gonna do this. Sometimes you do also get hit by missiles, like as soon as you go into... Oh, no, we're fine. This is fine. Okay. No, we're not fine.
Now, if you got out of that, would your health recharge? Or?
Yes. Yeah, this is a pretty typical in that you don't really have a health bar. The screen goes slightly dark, and then if you get away, it just regens. Oh yeah, this is actually a more convenient place. I was surprised at where it spawned me before, because I was hoping to get it under here, because I still had a few things to destroy underneath. The one thing that people really, really don't like in this game is that there are these wingsuit challenges that you have to do.
That sounds awful.
And
I don't know what it is.
People find them to be very challenging, especially the wingsuit challenges in this DLC. I think a lot of people did not like. I thought they were pretty good, but that's also because I had already, done all this stuff at that point. Did I really not blow that up? Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good. All right, so now we've done everything on the bottom of the ship. We can get back up to the top. That's what you want. You want to be destroying at least like 4 or 5 things on every strafing run.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were being the capital G gamer over here, that's really what we would want. So usually the flak misses you, but I've now died 3 times. That's how you know. We're really early gaming here. I think yeah, marathon strats, right? Honestly, the most important thing, like, these time losses are still kind of negligible compared to, I mean, the big time loss here is not so much from dying as it is just from not having destroyed enough on every run.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, I got one more anti-air cannon to take care of. The other problem, too, is that a lot of the drones will sort of take up you can't cycle what you're locked onto.
Yeah.
So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so you're just sort of stuck. So, like, you can lock onto the things you need to destroy, but...
That seems really archaic.
I agree. Yeah, you're not wrong. In Just Cause 1, you can cycle things that you auto-lock onto, you know? That took me a while to figure out, though, because they don't tell you that in the manual. That was kind of frustrating. So here, we're on a mission again. We just have to, destroy some stuff. And this is a situation where, like, if we die, we lose a lot of time because we basically have to go back to the start of the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Yeah, there's a lot of structures that you have to kill in this game that you can kill with the machine gun, but it's sort of, like, unreliable. Just because these structures have really weird hitboxes.
Yeah, what are those things? My video game sensors say they're like comm signals. Or
yeah,
comm
they're
towers.
like radio jammers, I think is what they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So anyway, we did what we had to do, and we just need to survive until we get a checkpoint. We're gonna go over here because this big part of the floor is gonna open up in a second. And we are going to position ourselves to get in there. We have to blow up a little switch in here.
All right.
There we go. And then we descend into the depths. I would say the rocket launcher is not exactly the best weapon for this. It'll work for our purposes. What's going to happen now is we just have to wait for a bit. This is a pretty slow part. We just have to wait for people to spawn, and we're going to murder them.
Now, are there bosses in this DLC? Or
yeah, sort of. We're actually going to encounter one. Probably, I would say, the part of the run that gave me the most trouble in terms of derusting is one where we're going to encounter at the end of this mission. The reason I'm constantly looking around is because this game doesn't like it if you're looking at where a spawn is. And so what we're doing is we're intentionally looking. Oh no! What? Oh. Okay, the game crashed.
No.
That's never happened before.
Yells.
It's fine. We're all fine here. This is fine. Don't worry about it. You didn't see anything.
Look blankly at the chat here.
We're all fine here.
This is fine. Yeah, how are you? So good news. There's autosave.
Yay!
Yeah.
Hooray!
Rico seems pretty relaxed, all things
Yeah,
considered.
Rico's pretty relaxed. Wow. You know, I have run this game a ton, and I've never seen it crash there. Never happened before, folks. Wow, that's great.
You got a tweet to send to Avalanche tonight.
Yo, if you're on the GDQ selection committee, you didn't see that. Yeah, so now we get to see the great load-up time at the beginning of the game.
Oh, there's the boats?
Oh, no, that's not the boat. That's not like the boat. That's not the Barium Sea Heist boat, but...
That'd be a pretty dope boat, DLC boat to control.
No, you can get on that normal. Alright, so where are we? We're just in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so when this game boots up, what happens is it sends you to... yeah, I guess it's... Yeah, what...
Who told you could leave?
Yeah, alright. Wait a second. I just need to make sure... So, where am I? Wait, what? I'm in Lavanda? Why the hell am I in Lavanda? Oh my god. Alright.
I wish these names meant something to me. I could react more emphatically.
Here's what we're going to do. I just need to do a little correction here, because otherwise the fast travel flare route would get irreparably destroyed. The problem here is if I fast traveled from Lavanda to the beginning of... if I fast traveled from Lavanda to restart that mission, the problem there is that I would not have a fast travel flare, and so I need to go over here and get a flare so I can fast travel from a province where it's free to do so. And so now I can go back and restart the mission.
Video game, son.
Yeah, right?
Most people would be like, this is terrible.
Alright, so anyway, we're going to try that mission again. That's, man. Shout out to Just Cause 3, really holding it down here. Oh boy.
Why did it crash?
Just Cause. Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. You figured it out. I should have brought my, I guess, trombone.
That's the commentary I should be bringing to this one.
I don't know. I'm going to go that way. Yes. Yes, please. Oh yeah, no, that's awful. Don't do that. That's... The way you can insta-kill yourself with helicopters in this game is awful. It's truly. There's probably muscle memory I have that like things I died 2 years ago and I don't know why I do them, but like it's there, it's real. It's a problem. Yep. So these are radio jammers, so we have to destroy them. They're jamming our radio. Really? I can't believe that missile just flew through.
That's some Valkyria Chronicles logic there.
Alright, whatever. Alright, we're just gonna sit down on the ground, blow this up. Thank you. Alright, so anyway, where we were before, we were going back to this big old hole that's gonna open up in a second after we blow up this guy. we have to wait for the voice line to finish before the door will open.
Now, while that's happening, could you be killed?
Yeah, sure. But I mean, we have a checkpoint at that point, so it's ideally, like, if we die, it's not such a big deal. Obviously, if the game crashes, we have to restart the mission. Yeah, I hope there isn't like a problem where it's like, oh, if you're playing the game full screen or something, that would be kind of wild. I did beat the entire game in full screen at ESA, so like as far as I know, there shouldn't be problems.
I don't know when the last time I played a game full screen is.
Yeah, I don't know. Me neither, man. So we're waiting for dudes to spawn here. This is where we crashed before, so we're about caught up now. Yeah, right here. Please don't crash. We're waiting for people. So once we see the Dorito on the screen, like that guy. Oh, that guy lived.
Does Rico ever a backup, or is he always like a one-man?
He's always a one-man army, pretty much.
Good for him.
Yeah, no, he's pretty self-reliant as things go. Come on, one more guy. I think it's like one more. What? Where are you, buddy? Oh, there we go. And that should be everyone, I think. Yeah, okay, so there's the voice lines. We're going to take this opportunity to head over here, pick up a nice little gun. While we're waiting for this voice line to play. Once this voice line's done playing, we'll be able to use this old little button here to open up the door.
That's one video game ass button right there.
Yeah, I know, right? Look at that. That's a juicy one. Yeah, so anyway, the access code fails.
This looks like a drone warehouse.
The good news here, though, is that we have a good weapon for defeating this guy. This guy was giving me a lot of trouble in practice because I forgot how I usually did him.
So this is a boss fight?
This is kind of a boss fight. Yeah, I would say this is like sort of a boss fight. We just have to destroy his 4 legs, using enough damage of some kind. And we also have to wait for the Doritos to appear. You cannot destroy things until the Doritos appear. It's very important.
Physics.
Yeah. There's guys down there. I'm not going to worry about them. Come on, come on. There we go. Alright, that's good.
You make quick work of him.
Yeah, no. Having that weapon makes it very easy. Yeah, they really don't like being grappled too. But, alright, that mission went well. Once the game didn't crash.
You're tempting fate there.
I know, right? What could possibly go wrong? Alright, so yeah, so the game's like, oh, by the way, in order to do the last mission in the DLC, you're gonna need to go over here and blow up some more stuff. So these are just 2 small extraction sites. They're pretty easy to blow up compared to blowing up the ship.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, there was actually an earlier patch of this game where this stuff would spawn before before you started the first DLC mission.
Has it been patched recently?
Well, not recently, but they did patch that out. I don't know if they were watching my speedrun, jerks.
I'm sure someone from Avalanche woke
I
up
know,
in a cold
right?
sweat.
It was like, oh yeah, we hate this kid. I got lazy there. I accidentally overheated the machine gun. Usually I'm a little more responsible about pulsing to not do that, but. See, this is optimal stuff. Got most of the structures in 2 pass-throughs. Kind of what you want to be doing. Don't hit drones. Drones are ugly. Jeff Bezos probably sent them. All right, that. No, okay. Well, that's fine. We can just destroy the 3rd tank machine gun. All right, so that takes care of that. problem is that even once we do this, we still have the drones are still angry at us. Oh, so the quickest way to get rid of heat is just to blow yourself up.
That's what I learned in high school.
Right? Police are after you. Just 2 explosives, set them off. They won't find you. And then, actually, at this point, this is the whole reason I went out of my way to get a fast travel flare, was because now I'm going to consume the fast travel flare.
You edibly consume it?
Yes.
All right.
You just put that sucker right in, and a helicopter comes and picks you up. Yeah.
That's some video
It
game
really
logic
well
right
reacts
there.
to water.
All right.
So. Yeah. So here we're going to do another one, very similar to what I just did. Oh wow, I actually got that fever on the first pass. Okay. Oh, yeah, so one of the unfortunate things, again, is that the drones are going to go out of their way to hate you and everything you stand for. And the real problem, too, is that rockets don't only do explosive damage, they also do physics damage. So if you fly into them, the sum of the physics damage and the explosive damage is actually enough to kill. Also, shout out to the debris. So at this point, I need another fast travel flare, and it's still going to be faster to blow up a base. In this game, there are several types of structures or like areas that you liberate. There's outposts, there's full bases, and then there are towns and hamlets. And so what we're going to go for is we're going to outposts give us an opportunity to always get flares. So we're going to go ahead and get one of those from this base, but we have to liberate it first. And outposts are pretty small and everything's pretty easy to destroy. So we'll just do that real quick. Really? I was trying to get the rocket on that tower. I managed to shoot it right between the panels. What did I miss here? Oh yeah. Does this still work? Oh, it does. Okay. So there's a glitch in this game where sometimes this weapon will just sort of fail. It just stops working. Anyway, we now liberated the base. And
Well done.
Our flare will be right over here. And then we can use this to get back to the final mission of the DLC. Back on the ship. It's always important, whenever you have the opportunity, you want to fast travel to green markers instead of blue markers, because green markers will put you on the ground instantly, because those are challenges. But if you go to a blue marker, it drops you out of the helicopter, which is, slow. So that's why, that's more important in the base any % game than it is in this. But, still relevant for sure.
Do you have any inclination to travel to the Mediterranean after playing this game?
No, it seems kind of dangerous, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Could have gone. Take a shot.
I'm a cold weather person. Also, I've had lots of friends go to Iceland recently.
What's the location Just Cause 4?
Just Cause 4 is
Forest?
It's like a fictional South American country called
right.
Solis.
Oh, you know your lore.
Oh, look, buddy, I've been following the hype coverage. Okay.
Isn't Just Cause 1 also a South American country?
Yeah, but it's more like fake Cuba or something.
And Just Cause 2
like
is
fake Venice. Oh, Just Cause 2 is like fake Southeast Asia.
All right.
So anyway, we have to basically just destroy 3 sets of structures, and we're gonna get started at that. There is one checkpoint after this group, but then we have to destroy sort of the final 2 without dying. There's gonna be a ton of drones this whole time. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. Oh boy. Oh boy.
What is that?
Don't worry. I don't know. It's like a thing. It's a power thing. It's like a shield. I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh, boy. We're fine. We're fine. This is fine. We're all fine here. Please stop shooting me. Alright, yeah, we got it. We're fine. So anyway, we're gonna get a checkpoint here before see those like little radar dishes or waffles or whatever they are. We have to destroy those next. But again, can't destroy them until you see the Doritos. There we go.
There you go. That's a video game screen if I ever saw
I
one.
know, right? So, yeah, so these drones, honestly, the biggest threat the drones pose isn't so much their weapons, as much as it is them flying towards me and shooting a rocket and me flying into it. I would say it's kind of the most dangerous thing. Ideally, see, that's what I was talking about, is the collision damage is kind of the most dangerous thing. So I probably just need to stay further away. And the other thing I can do, too, is that if I try and, as like a last-second panic, go into parachute mode, I'll still be open to, you know, machine gun damage and, you know, other types of damage, but I will, of course, not take the collision damage, which, you know, may be enough to save my life. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, the hitboxes are sort of finicky in these things.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're just gonna play safe, get out of the way. If we can get this from long distance, we honestly want to be over here for sort of the third part. Yeah, okay, so now we're gonna not even go near them. We're gonna go back this way, because the last set of things that we need to blow up will be more easily accessible from this direction. Oh, no, this is bad, Alright, I wanted to see if I think sometimes if you get the exact right shots you can get there, you can get that easy, but we're just going to play it safe and stick to using I'm
assuming you're trying to blow it up?
Yeah, so we're going to blow those up. And actually what happens here now is that we're supposed to shoot this thing, but so many drones are going to be flying into it that oftentimes it'll just instantly die from drones colliding with it, but here that didn't work.
Are drones exclusive to the DLC, or are they in the main game?
They're exclusive to the DLC. That would be, you know what would be really embarrassing? If I collided with the ceiling and had to redo all. Yeah, see, the drones actually finished it off for me. They just collided with it. Pretty good, right?
Good for them.
I know.
Some agency.
Alright, so once we get up here, and then time is going to be coming up once I hit this button here. And then time. Hooray!
Well done.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, shout outs to new game crashes.
So how long do you think the game crash took you to recover from?
Oh god, probably like a good 3.5 minutes.
56:38 with the crash.
Okay, yeah, so I was overestimated because of the crash, but yeah.
That's still good, though.
That's still pretty good.
Still under an hour.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much for having me, Yells and Nick and everyone. Thank you.
My intelligence was vastly